Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Boob Talk with your host, Cynthia Rogers. It's Season 3. Come and join the Boob Talk family as we discuss the issues breast cancer and other cancer survivors face. Come along on our journey. We are survivors. Welcome to Boob Talk. I'm your host, Cynthia Rogers, and thank you for joining me this evening. Tonight, our topic is 2022. COVID continues with the Omicron variant with our return resident guest, clinical pharmacist, Marilena Grittani. Marilena, welcome back for another year of Boob Talk.
Thank you, Cynthia. Congratulations in your new season, and I'm very happy, as always, to be here talking to your community.
Well, we are so glad to have you still with us to discuss this important information. I know everyone is tired of talking about it, but COVID-19 and the variants are still here. So, Marilena, can you tell us why do we keep getting these new variants?
Yes, I am tired of talking about it, too. So I'm with you on that. But we do get more variants because the only thing that needs to happen for a variant to start it is for the virus to reproduce. Every single time that the virus reproduces, then there is a chance for a mutation or an error in the copy of the information from the parent, to say it one way, the parent virus to the child virus. They transfer the information, the genetical information, and then when that information is being read, sometimes it's an error of transcription. Literally, it's like it's typing the information to the new one, and then a mistake is done. And then if that mistake carry on the future generations, then it's called a variant because it sticks. It's not that it corrects itself in the next generation. So that's what happened. So why do we keep getting new variants? Is because the virus keeps reproducing, and that happens because, well, we allow the virus to come to our bodies. We allow the virus to come from our bodies to go to other people's bodies, and then they keep multiplying that way, and that's why variants keep happening. So it's not going to stop until one of two things happen. One, that we all get enough immunity in our bodies to prevent the virus to multiply in our bodies, or that we all get in our houses, not even to show their noses in their windows for 2 or 3 months, and then it will disappear. One thing or the other needs to happen. I'm betting the first one is the one that it's going to be.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to ask you, how do we keep allowing this to happen? So basically, it's either we have to boost our immune system, like you just said, or just then stay in the house and never come back outside. Is that the solution?
Exactly, and that's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen because humans are herd people. We like to be in communities. We like to hug. We like to laugh. We like to cook together. And that needs other people around. And you cannot seclude the people in your bubble forever. Somebody's going to do something wrong, and it's going to bring it home, and then we all are going to have it. And that's mostly what happens. So how do we prevent it? Well, we, first of all, need to give our immune system, that is the army that protects our body, all the armament, in this case, will be weapons to protect itself and to keep us safe, at least less harm as possible, and which is mainly by vaccinations, and then supported as well with good nutrition, incrementing or keeping good levels of vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and selenium, that are the main ones that boost our immune system, and eating right, with a diet full of vegetables with multiple colors, as well as fruit, and exercising, and having a healthy mental health. That's another important part that is part of the tools that we need to have to prevent this virus to continue reproducing on us and keeping on going with us. We're sick and tired of them. But I have good news, so we can talk about it in a little bit.
Oh, great. So I wanted to ask you, how is Omicron different from the Delta and the original SARS COVID-19?
Well, it has multiple variants, multiple mutations within one only product. It's like if the mom was in such a way, and then the child, which is Omicron, had 52 changes, different ones, that is different from the mom. So that is unusual. It's not that common happening all of a sudden. So what is happening, what they believe happened, I'm talking about researchers, virologists that are experts in viruses, they think that two different diseases, two different coronavirus, which are those viruses that cause the regular flu, the influenza that we get every year, as well as coronavirus that causes COVID, both of them were in the same person. And then the virus reproduced a little bit of one virus and a little bit of the other one, and that's what they think happened to create this new variant called Omicron. That's why it's very contagious, like the flu is, extremely contagious, but it's not as severe as Delta, for example, was before as a variant of COVID-19. So that's a result. We get this virus that is extremely contagious, but it does not cause a disease as severe as Delta, number one. And number two, it's a disease that is not as bad for people that have been immunized either with 2 doses in less than 6 months ago or with 3 doses recently. Those are the people that get the best course of the disease on their bodies. It does not happen with people that are not vaccinated or people that just got 1 dose because they got COVID and the medical team told them that they just needed 1 more dose, or those that just got 2 doses over 6 months ago and never got a booster. Those are the people that are in disadvantage in comparison with us that we have the 3 doses and we have a stronger immune system that is reminded of the danger of this virus, and also a kind of a refreshment training for our army to say this is how the virus looks, these are the weak points, these are the tools that we need to use to attack it, this is the strategy that we need to use to destroy it, and then we have a better, easier way through the disease. And of course, the other difference is that it's shorter in length of time. Omicron lasts less than 10 days and is contagious for up to 5 days, contagious for over 10 days. And the symptoms, it feels more like a flu than COVID. It's more of a upper respiratory issue instead of lower. Upper, I'm talking about nose, ears, and throat symptoms rather than breathing, coughing, and having difficulties to breathe. Those are the main difference between one and the other.
Okay. I was also going to follow up and ask you what are the symptoms, and just to, backtrack to what you were saying about it not being as severe. Now, I have seen a lot of my friends, especially on Facebook, posting that they have it. And I was just like in shock as to the amount of people. It seems like everyone is catching it like it is like a cold. So what are the symptoms?
Well, the symptoms are very similar to a cold, to a flu. It's very much in your throat, and you feel like your throat is scratchy, but also you want to keep clearing it. That's one of the symptoms, that you have very low energy, that you just feel like, oh, God, I cannot walk. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. That is very common. Another one is that you have
feel like that every day.
That's another story.
I don't want to go to work.
Confuse my
I
symptoms.
don't want to get up.
See, that's another disease. It's totally different.
Okay.
The other thing is that there's no vaccine for that, though. I just wanted to let you know that. The other symptom is in your nose. It's a lot of nasal congestion. That's why you talk like that, because your nose is very congested. It's very typical. People that have difficulties to breathe, not because the lungs are not able to breathe. It's because their nose and their sinuses are so congested that there's no air flowing. So they tend to breathe through their mouth, and that also dries out their mouth that is already irritated. So there it goes. It comes in a circle. And headaches are very common too, but not a headache that the regular headaches that you get or migraine headaches. It's somewhere in the middle. And they're weird headaches. It's not the regular headaches that you get. You know it's a different thing if you normally get headaches. And the other thing that you can have is a very dry cough that is not a cough that comes from your lungs, but it's a cough that comes from clearing your mouth or your throat rather, and swallowing those secretions that you have in your nose that they slip out from the nose through your throat down to your lungs.
Okay, there's just so many different symptoms, and nobody knows if it's, hey, do I just have sinus issues, or, you know, is it just a regular cold, or, you know, so it's like, how do you know what actually is going on? So should you get yourself tested?
Well, you know, there's several countries that are not doing testing anymore, simply because if you think that it has a big trunk and it has big ears and it weighs more than 2 tons and it has 4 legs and it does, it is an elephant, same thing. If you feel that the symptoms are suspicious of COVID, isolate yourself, rest, hydrate, and stay home so you do not give it to anybody else. And most likely it's going to be COVID. You are one of the fortunate that have 3 doses of a vaccine. Most likely in 5 days, you're going to feel great. If you happen to need to go out, you just need to mask, so just in case you don't, you know, keep spreading it. But the symptoms, even though, and Cynthia, I want to make emphasis in this point that I'm going to comment next, because we humans tend to be exaggerated. And, you know, I'm Italian and Latina, so I am the queen of exaggeration. Every single person that talks to me about having COVID feels and says that they feel like they're going to die. And all what they have is very much fatigue, which means they're very tired. They feel like they don't have energy to move, and they have sore throat that is very uncomfortable, and they might have headaches and just feeling ill. That is not symptoms of you are almost dying. That is symptom of a flu that we have 2, 3, 5 times in your lifetime. That is not the symptoms. Those are not the symptoms of dying. Symptoms of dying is that you're not able to breathe and they need to put a tube in your throat and you are upside down in a bed in the ICU about to die. Then is when you are dying. But we tend to say that. So I just want to exhort everybody that is listening to make a big difference for their mental sake too. You are not dying, dear. You have a flu. You have COVID that has very much a disease, a sickness, but it's not something that is going to kill you. So stop saying and thinking that you're going to die, because you won't. It is just, if you have been vaccinated, it's just something that you need to go through. You need to be mentally prepared. Okay, this is what I need to do. I need to rest. I need to hydrate. I need to make sure I have everything that I need. I have a thermometer to monitor my temperature. If you are having breathing issues, to have an oximeter, those that you put in your index finger and you measure your blood saturation or oxygen. And then you have a phone number to call somebody, either your healthcare provider, your PCP, or somebody in your family that can reach you for that. Other than that, you just need to rest. So it's not that you're dying. You might think that you feel so bad that you feel like you're dying, but it's not the same. And that is something that we definitely need to keep in mind, because I think we get a little bit out of control with that.
And I think also part of it is probably just the fear of the whole pandemic that, you know, and people were dying. And so I think that also might contribute to the fact that people might say, oh, my God, I feel like I'm dying, when literally you're saying, you know, you're not dying. Is if you can breathe, you know, if there wasn't COVID, it just would be the flu and there would be no mass hysteria. And that this is for the people that have been vaccinated and have had a booster. You know, they are going to be fine. There have been, correct me if I'm wrong, have there been any cases of anyone dying from the variant that has been vaccinated and or had the booster?
It have happened, but it's mainly people that are elderly and have several diseases that are making them be absolutely weak. But you and me that we're young, beautiful, strong, and healthy, and we are vaccinated with the 3 doses, most likely it's not going to happen. We are going to have the disease because remember, and I've said this in several other of our interviews, it's not that the vaccine puts a sign in your forehead that says COVID-19, don't come in, I'm vaccinated. That does not happen. The job of not allowing the virus to come into your body is yours. So you do not hang out with group of people that you don't know who they are, or what we call outside of your bubble. You do not go to places that are closed, like a meeting, like a party, like a restaurant, with a bunch of people that you don't know if they have the disease or not. And you are always in places that are ventilated, and you have no risk of getting contaminated. Now, I want to make something very important clear. This new variant is so contagious that you just need seconds, like a few seconds in touch with it to get the virus on you. So I even heard of people, of course, these are comments that I heard from people, there's no clinical studies about it, that they were inside of their houses with the windows open and they got the disease. Because the neighbors ventilated their houses with the virus and then they got it. That might happen. I don't really know because there's no clinical studies for that, but there's a chance that could happen. So it's super, super contagious. It's not that you're wearing the little fabric mask around somebody that has the disease and you won't get it. Most likely you will. And I've said it to my friends and to the people that I talk to in Clubhouse. I said, this is the virus, this is the variant that is going to reach all of us. I have no doubts. I am trying to protect myself against it, but I have no doubts that this is the one that is going to get us. And if you doubt me, go check your Instagram and your Facebook, because you're going to see memes that say, if you don't have a friend with Omicron, you don't have friends. Have you seen those?
So I was so shocked to see a lot of my friends have it. And I said, oh, my goodness.
Even vaccinated. People that are super careful. People that work in healthcare.
So, like, these breakthrough cases, that are happening. So I just wanted them to, like you said, you might have the severe case and, might pass away if you are elderly or have underlying conditions. So then I wanted to speak about the variant and cancer survivors. So what is the risk for cancer survivors? And if they have been vaccinated or had the booster, should they be very, very careful of getting this? And, do you think that they could not come out of it, as easy as others?
Well, definitely. If you have had recent chemotherapy, your immune system has taken a bit. They're not the same. The army that is protecting you is not as strong as it could be from somebody that have never had chemotherapy, because that's part of the idea, to kill the bad guys, but some of the good guys also die. So when you are in a circumstance like that, instead of avoiding vaccines, which is what most people think, due to misinformation online and social media, you do need to be vaccinated with a booster because your immune system is down. The medications, the chemotherapy, the immunosuppressed medication, all of them are putting your immune system or the army that defends you in a very bad situation. And the vaccine, what it does is to say, okay, you guys are not that many, but we can do this. This is what it is, army that protects this body, HAA immune system. This is what we do. This is the virus. This is the weak point. These are the tools that work against them. These are the weapons that we can use, and this is the strategy how we kill it. So even though you have an immune system that is suppressed, thanks to the vaccine help, you still can do it. And actually, the recommendation from the CDC, which is the Center of Control and Disease Prevention, is people that are immunosuppressed. And that means people that had chemotherapy recently, and recently is in the past 3 months, need to have extra booster. Talking about an extra dose, I'm talking about a booster faster than the 6 months that is recommended. So let me just say it easy. Let's say that you got your first dose in June, and the second dose you got it in July. By now, you already have 6 months. You're due for a booster. Go ahead and get it. But if you got your first dose in September and you got your booster your second dose in October, you are not due for a booster because it's not been 6 months. It's been only 3. But if you have had chemotherapy in the past 3 months, or you have any immune diseases, or you're taking medications that put your immune system down, then the doctor is going to recommend that you get your booster faster, sooner than you were supposed to get it, because your immune system needs extra help. Rather than hiding away from the booster, you have to do the opposite. You have to help your pure immune system that is so poor, so weak, so down in soldiers, with a booster of the vaccine, for them to, even though there are few soldiers, they will be strong enough and prepared enough and have enough weapons to get against the virus. Because the virus, once it gets in your body, it's not like, oh, this person is a cancer survivor, we're not going to be mean to them. They don't care. This virus don't care. Their only purpose is multiply so they never die. They live for only 5 days. So after 5 days, they die, and they are gone. So the only reason that they keep on going is multiplying super fast and contaminating other people so that they keep alive. That is their purpose. So the more reproduction occurs, the more they get alive, the more they survive, and that is their whole point. So that's when you need to see, okay, this virus is not going to be nice to me. I'm not going to be nice to them. I need to get my vaccination. I need to get my immune system in good shape. I'm going to get my nutrition right. I'm going to get all the supplements that I need, and I'm going to avoid it. That is the recommendation for our beloved cancer survivor people that, by the way, you guys rock.
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing awareness to that issue, and just for clarifying. I know, like I said, this is just so many different variables to this, and everyone is confused. So just thank you for giving us the direct, hard information. And I also know there was a study conducted by the COVID-19 and Cancer Consortium that revealed that fully vaccinated patients that had cancer, they were still having the breakthrough COVID infections, that they still remained at a high risk for hospitalization and possibly death. So, just thank you for sharing with us that, hey, we have to stay protected. We have to boost our immune systems, and that includes getting the vaccines and the boosters. And I just wanted to get your take on, for those that still don't believe vaccines and boosters are necessary, that this is just some conspiracy, some political conspiracy. What do you say to those that still don't believe in vaccination?
Well, Cynthia, as you know, I have a room on Clubhouse once a week that is in Spanish, because that's my people, the one that I think need a lot of information. People of color in the U.S. and Spanish speakers are the people that are less vaccinated. So I am doing my best, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to your community that are my people too, because anybody that is a person is my people, period. And I would do the best that I can with all my heart and all the education that I accumulated throughout these years to share with you what I know. This is what I need to tell you guys. I respect your thoughts, and I'm with you. The only question that I had to ask you is, who gave you the information that you have in your head as the truth for you to believe it? Was it an expert on that topic? Because if it was, I understand the point. But if it's your friend that she's a baker that makes the best cupcakes in the whole world, but she does not know about health, you don't have a reason to believe that person. On the other hand, you have Marilena Grittani right here. I now know that I am the resident health person in this podcast, and I feel so honored and so cool. Thank you for that title. I love it. I have spent the past 28 years of my life, actually 32, because I went to school way earlier than that, fair health. I have worked in so many different areas of healthcare. I have worked in oncology. I have worked in neonatal care, or babies that are newly born, surgery, ICU, ER. I do know what I'm talking about. And on top of everything, I am an expert on medications. Nobody, not even physicians, know more about drugs than your pharmacist, because that's all what we study. So I am not only qualified, but prepared, because I have read, and I know you're going to make fun of me right now. Go right ahead. It's fine. I'll take it. I have read more than 500 clinical studies about COVID. So, ma'am,
God bless
I am
you.
prepared to answer your question.
God bless you. Somebody's got to do it.
I'm a nerd.
Thank you.
I can't help it. I'm just a nerd.
It's not being a nerd. It's being
I
informed.
I love it. I am. I'm loving it. So utilize the information that people like me that is being trained. I just for you to know, while you do your doctorate on pharmacy, you have 3 semester classes, 3 different ones that are training you how to read clinical studies and to determine which ones are good and which ones are not as good, not to say another word. I got trained specifically to determine which ones I need to believe, which ones, statistically speaking, they don't make sense, or that the design of the study is trusted or not. I have been trained for that. Your friend that makes cupcakes have not. Even though she loves you and you trust her, she does not know about this. I do, my dear. I do. So I am here without any interest, because I'm not telling you anything. Cynthia is not paying me any money. She's not making any money out of here, right? We are just doing it because we want our people, which is anybody that has a heart beating in their chest, to help, to get education out there, so you do not fall as a victim of these people that, poor thing, they think they're doing the best that they can, but they're misinformed. I am telling you, vaccines work. Vaccines have saved millions of lives. And just to give you a very recent data point, we have vaccinated more than 1 billion, with a B, people with this vaccine, and we're having less and less and less disease, COVID-19 disease, and less people dying. I don't know if you remember, but 2 years ago, in the land where my father was born, that is Italy, they were getting dead bodies out of their morgues in truckloads, in black bags, all thrown in a truck to burn them because they couldn't handle it. That, my dear, is not happening anymore. We have learned a lot about it. We have modified it. We are every day something new about COVID, and now we are not having the amount of deaths that we had before, and that alone is a tremendous win. And you know what did that? 80% the vaccines. 20% people being careful, people understanding what they need to do, what is called a separation, wearing a mask, washing your hands, being isolated, and avoiding crowds and people that might be with the virus. And also, 2 more things. I think I already touched on them, but I want to make sure that I emphasize this because, my dear, I do care about you. You need to eat healthy, not junk food, because it's cheaper or faster. You need to have vegetables, and you need to have fruits of all colors in your diet, and continuously change it. Not eating a banana every day. That's not it. It's not eating an apple every day. That's not it. You eat a banana and an apple and an orange today. Tomorrow you eat a kiwi, you eat grapes and a peach, and then the following day you keep rotating them, because all the nutrients that these fruits have and these vegetables have are necessary for your immune system and your body in general to defend yourself. Stop hurting your body. Help it. And the last one is mental health. Don't allow yourself to sabotage yourself. Relax. Stop producing, that horrible cortisol that only makes you feel worse, that it's inflamming you, that is attacking your own body. Let's just do a little deep breathing. That enough. If you take 3 deep breaths, I'm telling you, dear, you're going to feel much better, and you can confront whatever is coming to you in an easier and more focused way. Stop reacting. Start taking care of yourself. Start honoring the body that the universe, God, or whatever you believe gave you, and take care of that, because that was a gift and you need to honor it. And with those 4 things, I know we're going to get out of this. And I know you have that question, so I'm going to let you ask it to end this conversation in a positive note.
Yes, I was going to ask you, Marilena, is this pandemic, COVID-19, the variants, is it ever going to end? I just heard a news report that the CEO of Moderna said that everyone is probably going to get the variant, and we're going to need boosters into the fall of this year. And going forward, he said he thinks that this is accelerating from a pandemic to endemic, meaning that this is just going to stay with us long term like the flu. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
That is most likely what is going to happen. I don't like when the CEO of a company states that, because that person is not a healthcare provider, nor an authority for health in our country. That was not his place to say that. But he did say it, and I do believe that he is correct. Of course, we need to wait a little bit longer. We need to understand that that is what happened. But I do believe that the changes that have been occurring in the past 6 months, 8 months, are going to be the reason why this pandemic, the word pandemic means that is a disease that is well spread among at least 2 continents. We have it. This one is spread all over all continents, not just 2, all of them. That's why it's called a pandemic. When the name changed to endemic, it means that it's always going to live with us, either for 2 years, for 5 years, or forever. It's going to stay with us, but it's not going to be in such a bad shape. It's not going to get us so sick that we will not die. So it means that we can protect ourselves with a vaccine maybe, or even to get a different lifestyle that is going to provide enough strength to our bodies that we don't need to have all that, and vaccinations and health and healthy food and exercise and mental health. We just need to work towards that. We just need to think. We need to stop thinking, I need a pill to fix this. That's not how it works. What works is that we continuously and consecutively keep working on it. It's not that you want to lose weight and you drop 40 pounds and you don't do anything anymore. You need to keep on going. If not, it's going to come back, right? Same thing with your health. Keep it up, be healthy, and continue living healthy, and be an example for your community, for your family, for your friends. And best of all, you will end up dying, because we will, right, at one point. Healthy, happy, the best life that we can live. Because if we keep exceeding and doing stuff that we all know that we shouldn't be doing, and then we have a miserable 5-10 years of our life at the end, that is not a way to live. I have seen it with too many patients. I do not want that for anybody. So you do not work on your health only for the future. You work for your health for today, for midterm, and for the future. So you live a better, healthy life. And you get to enjoy it. You get to see your family, your kids, your grandkids, your friends, or travel, whatever you want to do. But keep in mind that whatever you do to your body is going to come back to you in the form of a disease. And you are not going to be happy with that. Trust me on that.
Marilena, thank you so much for coming back onto the show for this new year, for giving us wonderful advice, and for sharing your expertise with us.
Absolutely. Oh, Cynthia, I almost forgot one thing. We now have medications, not only the intravenous medication, the ones that they put in your veins, but now we have oral medications that you take by mouth. Both of them are approved by the FDA now. One of the names is Molnupiravir, and that is made by Merck Pharmaceutical, and the other one is called, I forgot. It's the one made by Pfizer. I will remember in a second. It's a hard name. But both of those medications are intended to prevent the virus to developing in your body, to reproducing in your body. So as soon as you know that you're positive, or have you been in contact with somebody that was positive, you take that medication. You take one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and for 5 days, and that's it. And it stops the reproduction of the virus in your body, which is exactly what we want. And with that, on top of the vaccines and the immunities that have been created with such a contagious variant as Omicron, and with all the people that have been sick for all these past 2 years, I truly believe that this is the year that COVID-19 is going to become endemic, and we will not be living in panic and fear like we have been living until now. So I do have good news for you. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. That is wonderful news. Let's keep the fingers crossed and the prayers going up that this will come to an end. So once again, Marilena,
Amen
thank
to that.
you so much. Thank you so much for coming on, giving us this new information. And I don't want to talk to you soon because I do, but hopefully it won't be about this. It'll be about something else, about some new cancer drugs coming out, something else, okay?
Absolutely. And anytime that you need a pharmacist, you do have one that is very close to you, and it will be honored. She will be honored to talk to you and help you out in whatever questions you have. God bless you, and take care, everybody. Thank you,
Thank
Cynthia.
you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. Bye.
You have been listening to Boob Talk, and I'm your host, Cynthia Rogers. Special thanks to our special resident clinical pharmacist, Marilena Grittani. She was discussing the Omicron variant and giving us the facts, telling us what precautions we need to take to avoid getting infected, telling us also that this also depends a lot on what we eat. Let's keep up with eating our fruits and vegetables, taking our vitamins, vitamin C and D, and just overall taking control of our own health. And we are here just to give out information so that you can make the best informed decisions for you and your family. Until next time, God bless. You have been listening to Boob Talk with your host, Cynthia Rogers. Follow us on all podcasting platforms and on Facebook at Boob Talk Podcast Group and Instagram at Cynthia L. Rogers Boob Talk Podcast. Remember, never give up hope.